What other BS narratives do you think the industry instill? I like it. Let's go there.
Okay, all right.
So, I mean, what else do you think this, there's sort of the work hard, put your head down, do better than the next guy. Is that really work anymore?
Hard work and discipline, right? We used to hear those all the time. Yeah, you got to work, obviously, right? As you said earlier, you're obsessed, you have the burning hot desire, you're driven to go get it. You're going to work for that. You're never not going to go after that. So that's a given. So then it's less about working hard and keeping your head down and just, grinding it out. It's ironic in this business that's built upon creativity that's not, I don't know what the right word would be, but that's not more fully fleshed out, right? It's not necessarily about working harder, because if you're serious about it and you want to be successful, let's be honest. Let's just be honest. Everyone's in this town and in this business because they want to make that movie. They want to make that series. They want to be that artist, that director, that producer, that writer, right? Everyone does, and that's great, right? But you got to acknowledge that your way is your way, right? And it's not about working harder, it's about working smarter. And it's not about finding a tactic or a technique or a hack, the new buzzword, 5 hacks to make your life go better. It sounds sexy and glamorous, right? I just air quoted. But you would be better served to be strategic in your approach, right? Because the best strategy is going to crush the best hacks, techniques, tips, and tactics every day, all day. There was a guy named Sun Tzu. He wrote a little something about it many centuries ago.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And Stephen Pressfield did another thing. The
Art of Stephen Pressfield.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Blew my mind when I read those books. So simple. To make something that simple and that elegant and that deep.
Do you struggle with resistance?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, every day. Yeah.
When you find yourself in it, how do you get yourself out of it?
Awareness. So I do everything I can to increase my awareness. And the thing that I found that increases awareness more than anything is meditation. Having talked about it before I was in that cult, and I really did lose a 20-year span of my life in a manner of speaking, and also literally, right? Because psychologically, you're not really thinking too clearly. And I looked and acted normally. Everyone, people knew that something was up, but I still was functioning, So, meditating is amazing. Meditation is an amazing practice that's been around for millennia, right? And it's just becoming more popular in our culture again now. It hadn't been since the 60s. That's another conversation, but that time has come again now. I came across, when I was trying to work my way through that cult ordeal, this thing that was basically high technology meditation. And I was like, what is that? The long and the short of it is, with the press of a button on your phone, your MP3 player, however you choose to listen to it, you can meditate more deeply than a Buddhist monk who has perfected their technique and been doing it over 35 years. And I was like, huh. And this gentleman had created this company, and he used this auditory, called it this technology, and it's binaural beats. Anyway, it puts you in deep meditative state immediately. And it's amazing. The biggest benefit of meditation, whether you choose to do it that way or you do it the traditional way, is that it begins to expand one's awareness. And with more awareness, you have more choice. And you naturally notice that which doesn't serve you will just kind of organically fall away. So when that resistance comes up, I was talking about what I'm focused on, the meaning I give something, and the emotions that come up. If I start to feel that resistance, I just kind of stop. And this is a hard-fought battle that I'm just spitting out to you in a couple of minute answer here, was just to realize that I was in a resistant place and where that feeling was in my body. And then noticing where my breathing was, and then noticing where my focus was, and thinking about, well, why was this happening? Why am I feeling that way? Oh, that's right, X happened, I gave it Y meaning, and now I'm having Z feeling. This is kind of crazy. No judgment, no criticism, no critiquing at all. Just noticing it with curiosity. And this was something that was recommended to me, and I thought, when I first heard it, man, get out of here. There's resistance, and I didn't realize it. And the person that I was telling this to said, oh, really? Well, that's cool. If you know it, and X, Y, Z, why is your life still the way it is right now, and why are you suffering? Like, all right, I don't like you anymore. I don't want to talk to you. And I hung up. But it's the truth. The more awareness I developed, and the more I started to pay attention to what I was thinking about, how it was making me feel, the meanings I was assigning to things, right? And the people and places that I was attracted to and that were attracted to me, everything started to shift and change, right? Because as far as I can tell, there's only 4 things that any of us can control. And the rest, at best, we have influence. So I can choose what I focus on and what I think about, okay? I can choose the meanings that I assign to anything. P.S. Side note, nothing in and of itself has any inherent meaning. My head was blown first time I thought about that. So those 2 things. The third thing is the feelings that I have, the emotions that I'm experiencing. Those are all 3 under my control. And the fourth thing is kind of a slash thing. The people I'm attracted to and the people that are attracted to me. Those are the only things I can control. Anything else, it's out of my control. So if I blow up an audition, oh well, right? What did I learn from it? What could I have done better? Am I being too harsh on myself? How do I even really know what he, she, they were thinking? Right? Maybe they had the gas face because they just, gotten some bad news, or, chili con carne went sour in their stomach, or who knows? It could be anything, right? Instead of like just beating yourself up and flogging yourself,
Any quick tip for someone that's come out of whether they've been in a cult or whether they've just gotten newly sober and maybe they were in a induced haze for years, or they could have been in a bad work situation?
Mm-hmm.
And kind of like coming, because it's almost like you're coming into life new again, I would imagine, almost like an infant, probably in some way. Or I'm putting words in your mouth.
No. That's interesting you said that. Because, those thoughts came through my head in the beginning as I was, kind of wrapping my head around this. Well, first of all, you got to, as in this industry, so is it the same in recovering from emotional trauma, emotional abuse, occult, alcoholism, drug addiction, sexual abuse, whatever horrible shit that goes on in this world all the time. Whatever it may be, you got to play the long game. And that's easier said than done when you're in the throes of your pain and your suffering, right? Because there are times where thoughts cross my mind too, like, is this worth it? Like, is all this worth it? I always knew that life was a gift. And no matter how bad I felt, that I was going to ride this thing out. Maybe I'm delusional. I don't know. But that was the choice I made. But you look at it the long game. You're playing the long game. It's not a tip. It's not a trick. It's not a tactic. It's not a technique. It's not a hack, right? You're doing a strategy, and you're healing yourself. Be nice to yourself. Give yourself a break. Make friends with yourself. Because no matter where you go, there you are. And the one, like I said earlier, the one common in every relationship that you have, the one common denominator is me. Me. I'm the one. So if that's the case, then I got to start taking responsibility for everything I do, everything I say, everything I think. Right? And what's the thing that they take back your power? But own it. Own yourself. Own your stuff. Even if it's painful, even if it's ugly, just keep breathing and keep taking another step. I sound like a motivational video, but find your creative outlets, find your artistic outlets, find your athletic, your physical outlets, find spiritual outlets, whatever that means to you. Find, financial resources, whatever it may be. But, you've got to really the biggest thing I would say is you got to be nice to yourself. You're doing the best you can do with what you have at that time based upon where you were and what you've been through.